by Salt Lake County Zoo Arts and Parks, the George S. and Dolores Doré Eccles Foundation, the Utah Division of Arts and Museums, the Rocky Mountain Power Foundation, the Walmart Foundation, Matthew Jones and family, and Rachel and Jason Saban. If you're sitting in those M2S and need to leave the auditorium, please use the staircase to your left, through the tech booth, and down the opposite set of stairs to access the lobby. If you have a cell phone, please turn it off now. In accordance with federal copyright laws, picture and video recordings are prohibited. Please be advised, this show may make use of one or more of the following: simulated gunfire, atmospheric effects, flashing lights, and other special effects.
Time of death, Watson.
8, 9 hours.
But she's been lying here for longer. Look at the floor. Drugged, then brought here? Whoever did this didn't expect her to wake up. She's moved 4, maybe 5 paces in considerable pain. No cuts, no bruises, no blood. Nothing seems to have been taken either. Necklace, hair clips. Jones Stangerson. This could be useful. What would you say, about 4 feet here, and here another 5. Low visibility too, not much light coming through that window. Lestrade, have your men search everything within a 4-mile radius. Our murderer came here in a carriage. Interestingly, he and the victim came here together. Someone's been back here and couldn't have gotten far. Middle-aged man, florid face, tall, long fingernails on his right hand, smokes cigars, and is uniquely small-footed. He can't be far, Lestrade.
Gregson, Farley.
R-A-C-H-E.
Rachel.
No, it's German. Revenge. How come they never learn their lesson, never learn we're gonna beat them? It's like they're trying to invent a new way to cause crime, but there's hundreds and I've seen them. And they always think that they'll get away from Mother Fate, but Mother Fate doesn't deal them. Not when you're messing with Sherlock and John, you just lose your freedom.
I've seen so many cases, it amazes me. I write them and they read them. And the newspaper printing all his fame, people singing, blown away by his reason. And right by his side is my shot tonight, with the mind writing lines of what he did. If Sherlock's on the case, no one can match the pace, this doctor guarantees it.
outdone. Sherlock Holmes always one step ahead of them. There's only one you can't outrun in London.
The famous street detective, he set records, he's so effective, put the criminal behind bars. It's his perspective, his street perfected, his method.
I'm still a skeptic.
Just say that because it's all bizarre.
Sherlock couldn't even connect with them, so our closest just saying.
Okay, but admit, picture this, where would we be without him?
Every clue is a new thing. This game.
Then their players will want a mistake to make us.
Streets of London high, nothing from Sherlock's eyes. The staggering plot is not what you thought, so are you watching close enough? Make you'll miss this mystery unwind. We won't be outdone. Sherlock Holmes always one step ahead of them. There's only one you can't outrun in London.
Mr. Holmes, man, you've done it again. Another case to your name. Well, where to begin? The science of deduction needs no introduction.
Let me tell you something.
The blind can see those
He
clues.
doesn't have any friends!
All I do is look at the facts, and that's enough to form a conclusion. Added to the genius.
And the meanness.
Humility is meaningless.
You got to see this.
Streets of London high, nothing from Sherlock's eyes. This darkening plot is not what you thought, so are you watching close enough? You'll miss this mystery unwind. You won't be outdone. Sherlock Holmes always one step ahead of them. There's only one you can't outrun. In the streets of London, are you watching close enough?
Another case brilliantly deduced by you, my dear Holmes.
Humbly retold by you.
Ah, yes, thank you. And of course, every piece fitted perfectly, woven into a veritable tapestry of riveting crime journalism, ready to be shipped to the masses.
The masses. Frivolous, your readers.
They're not frivolous, they're fundamental. Or have you forgotten that the popularity of my column is what fills your pipe?
My work provides for itself.
Oh, cheer up, Sherlock. Our readership has made you England famous.
That's just it, John. What good is being England famous? I should be world famous. Why aren't my stories being syndicated throughout the rest of Europe?
I suppose you're about to tell me it's because of the qualities of my writing.
No, though that was my first conclusion.
That's quite reassuring.
I believe the problem is our cases. They're too homegrown, not enough international appeal.
Well, beggars can't be choosers.
We're not beggars anymore, John. And that's not true anyway. All my beggar friends are quite particular. We need bigger cases. Bigger cases, better writing, broader fame.
And bigger stomachs. But of course, we take what we can. We can't expect the crime to just waltz into the apartment at every tick of the clock.
Sherlock, there's a gentleman to see you.
Excellent. Please let him in. Yes.
Mr. Holmes, why not that? Mr. Holmes, you would never believe. Found a coat just lying in the gutter with a blue diamond sun up under the sea. You couldn't imagine my amazement. What a lucky me! Till I found Henry Baker written all clear in print. Could be imminent in London if someone could find it too, yeah?
Too simple.
What, Holmes?
Watson, please observe. This is elementary. Check out the frayed on the collar. Check out the fade underneath. Here's a man who doesn't have a dollar, let alone something to sew in his
He
sleeve.
stole it.
ad in the paper. He'll want his coat back, I wager. And if he stole it, he'll check it, and then you'll know if he's your culprit. Yeah. That's it. Simple, but it works.
You really think he stole it?
Watson! So we're replacing missing items. Whatever happened to our dignity? Whatever happened to the common criminal? What's so uncommon? What's so wrong with the capacity to think outside the box? Outside the letter? We need a new case, but just better.
Sherlock!
Yes,
Mr. Holmes!
please.
See, we've been living in the country but standing.
I don't believe
But he's up to something. There's really no way we can prove it.
the family and
We have his been looted.
and Martha the heritage center.
Stanley's profession?
Oh, it's the butler! Yes.
Okay, so there's this man in my life. He's sweet, really, and I would be his wife if he asked me, but honestly, he lacks in commitment. And I know it's not a sin, but I wish I could win his affection enough. His perfection is tough, but I've also been offered this governess spot, and I think it could be beneficial. Do I sound superficial? Oh, and children, that's another thing. They're so special. But I really would marry him if he asked me. Do you think he loves me?
I'm sure he does.
Oh!
We really shouldn't be too particular about cases.
Watson!
Excuse me. Sirs, my husband is missing. Disappeared over 2 weeks ago. And normally he's gone on business, but this is different. He made no mention of his intentions, that's not like him. He always lets me know, I just don't know where he would go.
How to say this? Madam, many husbands go missing, only to be found in someone else's home.
He wouldn't.
They never do until they do, and then it's you who's left alone. I'm sorry we can't help you. We hope you can find a good place.
Keep your chin up, you know, to save face.
Well, I guess this is goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen.
What did you say?
Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.
We'll take the case.
What? Sherlock?
You will.
Watson, can't you see this woman's in distress? Lost her husband, so she came to us. Now what kind of people would we be if we were to turn her out?
I suppose.
Now let's see, your husband has been missing for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Excellent! We'll find him.
You really will.
Yes, we will. Isn't that right, Doctor?
Of course.
Not to worry, madam. Everything is in order. Sherlock Holmes and John Watson are on the case.
It's not like I don't like being in the dark, Sherlock, but what are we doing here?
Seeking enlightenment.
Excellent. How?
This train offers more than initially meets the eye, Watson.
Well, it initially meets more than the bottom, that's for sure. But where exactly are we going?
Bristol.
Bristol. Excellent. Why?
Look here. These vents. Their purpose?
To circulate air throughout the cabin?
Not today. Today they will serve as the key to solving the puzzle of our disappeared ambassador.
Ambassador?
Precisely. Our mysterious woman, did you catch her unique phrase?
Auf Wiedersehen.
Yes. But did you catch how she said it? Auf Wiedersehen. No one pronounces it Auf Wiedersehen. No one in English, anyhow.
I see.
Our mysterious woman has lived in London for quite some time, though she wasn't born here. She's German, and by the subtle pronunciation, I'd say West. Could be Dusseldorf, but most likely Frankfurt.
But how
An ambassador? Do you not read the paper? Honestly, John, for someone pursuing journalism, you really must keep up to date. Tuesday's paper, 2 weeks back, 14th page, 3rd column.
Oh, embassy welcomes Frederick Berg, ambassador of Germany.
An important meeting, only it never happened. Postponed without explanation. Sunday's paper, also 3rd column. Big welcome, cancelled meeting, disappeared husband. The piece is fit. Auf Wiedersehen.
I'll be the same for sure. So an international case then?
Quite so.
So why Bristol?
Because the passenger in the compartment next to us is Frederick Berg's personal secretary and likely knows more than we do. I need a boost.
I have a bum leg.
And a strong back.
Okay.
You wouldn't believe the current state at the embassy. They're working around the clock trying to clean up this mess. People don't simply disappear. And yet he did. Well, you mean to tell me you believe those rumors?
Shut up. Please, I'm trying to listen.
I don't believe it. I saw it. Oh, well, go on then. It started off a day like any other. Not raining, but misty. We had just finished our morning meetings, the ambassador, 2 officials, and myself. So when it came time to leave, we all boarded a carriage.
Ambassador boarded a carriage.
Only then, the ambassador said he had forgotten something inside and rushed back in, promising to follow in the next carriage.
Boarded a different carriage.
And that was odd. No, but this is where it becomes peculiar.
A good day to you.
It's the conductor. And that's where the police found the severed head.
It is so hard to find a good nanny these days.
So, when I arrived, I waited just outside on the steps of City Hall. So when the ambassador's carriage pulled up, oh, hello. When the ambassador's carriage pulled up and I opened the door, it was empty. Empty?
Empty? Ouch!
Where's Mr. Berg? I told the cabbie. There's no one here. What do you mean, he says. I mean what I said, there's no one here. So he marches round the back and looks inside and says, I don't get it. I saw him get in. Well, people don't just vanish into thin air, I told him. Oh.
Oh, John, look, a deep look into the Prime Minister's love affair. Well, what happened next?
We searched everywhere, of course, and then I returned straight away to inform the embassy he was missing. It's been 2 weeks now, and no one has heard a word from him.
Ambassador's disappeared.
Only the cabbie knows now. Only he's gone missing as well. Astonishing.
Cabby's gone missing as well.
Oh, so he's vanished.
People don't just disappear, John.
Well, no. Unless they're dead.
Or
Unless they're not dead.
because they've just been taken.
In which case,
Scotland Yard! Up here, it doesn't get better. On top of the whole wide world, right here with you,
flying high like a feather, like the sails of a ship unfurled. I'm thinking you, me, definitively the dream team.
Some say audacious, but really it's basic. It's elementary, without a doubt. We're the greatest tool around. Elementary, the higher we go, the further they fall down. We're just like gravity. How do we do the things we do? It's a natural phenomenon that the best things come into. It's elementary. Elementary.
How does it feel to be surrounded by greatness?
You tell me.
Feels good to be second to none.
Second to one. What's it like to have a friend so famous?
And your name is?
Have you heard of the word outdone?
That's fine.
I'm thinking you see they chalk it up to a grand scheme.
So it's complicated, but really it's basic.
It's elementary, without a doubt. We're the greatest tool around. Elementary, the higher we go, the further they fall down. We're just like gravity. How do we do the things we do? It's a natural phenomenon that the best things come into. It's elementary. Oh, elementary. Yeah.
Behind every legend stand dynamic friends.
We're like unto Caesar and Brutus.
What?
No? Elementary, without a doubt. We're the greatest tool around. Elementary, the higher we go, the further they fall down. We're just like gravity. How do we do the things we do? It's a natural phenomenon that the best things in life are elementary, without a doubt. Oh, elementary, the higher we go, the further they fall down. We're just like gravity, just like gravity. It's a natural phenomenon that the best things come into. It's elementary.
Raining cats and dogs outside.
Oh dear goodness. Hello, Edith.
Alex!
Alice, yes, Sherlock Holmes. I need to speak with a friend.
Oh, you don't have friends.
Oh, hello.
You have readers.
Listen, I need to speak with the cabby you have in custody.
Well, that's a real shame, Sherlock. But you see, we don't need you to talk to the man we have in custody.
Alice.
Oh dear. Hello, Alice. Strange weather.
Oh, yeah.
Stop it. No. Politely. Go.
If there's something I've done to offend you,
Oh, well, let's see. The last time we let you meddle, you lit the place on fire.
that was one time.
Oh, and the time you used the laboratory to flood the interrogation room.
I had to know if he was telling the truth.
Well, you're not getting in. This is a government-level case. Top secret.
It can't be that secret. I'm here.
We are taking all of the necessary security precautions, which includes not letting you in.
Sherlock, what are you doing here?
Threatening security. I need to speak with your man in there.
We've got it under control. Our best men are on it.
What, Toby? You can't be serious.
Look, we're fine. What do you know?
Well, I can already tell you more about that man in there than Alice can, and I haven't even been in the room yet.
Prove it.
It's raining. No one would leave the house on a day like today without something to protect against the weather. Yet, the only coats and umbrellas hanging near the entrance belong to the 5 of us. Thus, Toby is the only guard on duty. And if Toby is the only guard on duty, then the cabby certainly isn't a security threat. Especially since the keys are missing from Toby's belt, which he likely left in the keyhole on the opposite side of the door. And being that the cabby isn't a security threat, I'd venture to say he's rather feeble, certainly lonely. After all, no one's come to visit him. A grumpy man without any money, I wouldn't visit him either.
Now, who said he's grumpy and doesn't have any money?
Well, he's a cabby, so he's poor. And he's poor, so he's grumpy. So, we have a grumpy, feeble man with no loved ones or money who's found himself locked up in Scotland Yard. And on top of all of that, it's been 2 weeks and you haven't released him, but you haven't announced him as the criminal either because you have no way to prove it. But I can.
I still don't understand how that's possible.
Also, his name is Peter. It's just deduction, Miss Rudd.
You can't deduce someone's name.
Oh, that was from the manila envelope sitting on the desk.
Fine. Just this once.
Just this once.
Hey, another good cop, bad cop. Hey, here's an idea. He's your bad guy. Maybe I'm not. I'm an innocent man. Just caught in the wrong spot.
Look, you seem like an honest gent.
But perhaps not.
Here we go again.
Pick him up when you don't stop him.
That's what I said.
Never slowed enough for a safe jump.
If you were scared.
Any chance you might have got lost.
No.
Probably driven it 100 times.
So I guess not. I took the same route that I always take.
Westminster.
To York, that road was closed that day.
Oh, everybody got a different story.
Everybody claims that they've got different facts.
The fact they tell a different story. And when the truth condemns, it's hard to argue that.
Whoa. That's a bold accusation to make.
Well, not if it's true.
Let's hope not for your sake.
I don't know his name, nothing about where he came from. All I know is what I told.
And the one street that you took him down.
Well, that still doesn't prove nothing.
How'd you figure that?
Maybe you should go ahead and check your
Let's see,
facts.
we've done
The
that.
fact is that I never done nothing to Mr. Burr.
Wait, who told you that his name was that?
Oh, everybody's got a different story. Everybody claims that they've got different facts. The fact is fact, they tell a different story. And when the truth condemns, it's hard to argue that.
Come on now, tell us the truth. Go on and tell it to him.
Come on now, tell us the truth. Go on and tell it to him. Come on now, tell us the truth. Go on and tell us the truth. Come on now, tell us the truth. Go on and tell it to him.
Come on now, tell us the truth.
Come on now, tell us the truth.
Come on and tell us the truth.
Come on now, tell us the truth.
Come on now, tell us the truth. Every time you tell a different story.
Every time you claim that you've got different facts, the fact is fact, they tell a different story. And when the truth condemns, it's hard to argue that. Oh, everybody's got a different. Everybody claims that they've got different facts. The fact is fact, they tell a different story.
And when the truth condemns, it's hard to.
When the truth condemns, I'm saying.
When the truth condemns, it's hard to argue that. Yeah.
Who are you?
The Christmas goose.
I didn't touch him, I swear. I didn't want to do it. My family's doing really poor.
You don't have any family.
Fine. Times are tough. A man approached me one day and offered me the job. Said all I had to do was pack up Mr. Berg and drop him off in Jason Street. That's all I did.
Blimey, man, and your conscience never pricked.
Mr. Berg wasn't bothered by it. He wasn't kidnapped, not his own accord.
And you know this how?
I saw him. He switched cabs without anyone forcing him. Hopped in right at the lane. He didn't seem to mind. I got paid. Who's the wiser?
Sherlock is.
Wait. You're Sherlock Holmes?
Perhaps.
Who mentioned you?
The man who hired you?
I, the man who hired you. I was on my way out, but I heard it. Sherlock Holmes mustn't interfere. That you had proven to be a great nuisance, and that he was indeed your arch nemesis.
Oh, by Jove, man!
What?
We're wasting our time here.
What?
Arch nemesis indeed, that's innocent. It's Mycroft. Lestrade can release this man, he's no trouble.
No trouble.
Come along, Watson, let's pay him a visit.
Who?
My brother.
Your what? You have a brother.
Unfortunately, yes.
And how was I unaware of this?
You seem to be unaware of a lot of things, Watson.
Well, at least he's a lot more tidy than you are. That's more than you can say.
He's also incredibly annoying.
Oh, I should have known it was you.
I see the feelings are mutual.
Yes, I did have a sneaking suspicion that Charles Dickens and his lackey were not sitting in my office.
Your lackey?
I presume you know why we're here?
No, of course not. I'm far too busy to concern myself with your... doings, Sherlock. And you are...
John Watson.
Ah, yes, you're the writer. You're the one that Sherlock's been dragging all about London, then.
Yes, wait, what? No, he does not drive me. He couldn't, even if he tried.
Well, you are recording all of his heroics and adventures for the papers. I wouldn't follow Sherlock to the kitchen. Simply dismal.
See what I mean?
Yes, I'm beginning to...
Wonderful. Well, now that you two are friends, Mycroft, would you mind telling us about this disappeared ambassador?
No. I'm afraid I know nothing about the situation.
I find that odd. Your job is to ensure the security of government officials, and yet you are unaware of the one missing?
Yes, that is correct.
So this comes as news then?
Oh, it does.
And I assume you're intrigued to hear more.
If you must.
An ambassador boarded a carriage that arrived empty and hasn't been seen since. This was over 2 weeks ago.
Yes, that's very interesting, but how can you be sure that no one knows where he is?
I can't be. Then again, there is the cabby. At first he mentioned he knew nothing of this situation, but once we spoke with him, he divulged that he had been paid off.
Paid off by whom?
You?
By me. Why would I pay a cabby to kidnap the German ambassador?
Why don't you tell us?
Because I can't. It's a preposterous accusation, Sherlock.
You're lying, Mycroft.
It wouldn't be the first time you falsely accused me.
It wouldn't be the first time I justly accused you either. See, at no point in this conversation did I mention the ambassador was a he, but you did.
That's true. Quote, how can you be sure no one knows where he is?
Are not most ambassadors men?
Perhaps, but not all are German.
What do you mean?
Only you mentioned that he was a German ambassador, not me.
Not every crime in this city requires your attention, Sherlock.
Only the good ones.
Well, he isn't missing, and he certainly wasn't kidnapped.
What then? Who knows where he is?
I do, and only I do, which was apparently a very wise decision by me, seeing as some people have trouble keeping their mouths quiet.
Oh, you can't blame the cabbie. You can blame me for being too good at my job.
Why are you keeping the ambassador hidden?
It's quite obvious, isn't it? He's in danger. Mycroft, the head of intelligence, purchases a carriage for a poor chap who needs some money. The man is instructed to pick up the ambassador, who has been briefed to ride in solitude, thus forgets something inside, allowing his colleagues to ride off without him. The ambassador boards a carriage, bereft of witnesses, and rides off. Midway through his journey, the cabbie pulls over. The ambassador gets out and boards a second carriage, likely driven by my brother, who takes him to a remote location. Why go through all the hassle if not fearing for the ambassador's life? Isn't that right, Mycroft?
Why wouldn't Mycroft just pick up the ambassador himself?
Because the carriage had to arrive empty to throw the police off the trail. The real question is, who is trying to kill the German ambassador?
You know I really hate saying these words to you, Sherlock. But I don't know.
Well, what do you know?
I'll tell you this. While sitting down to a glass of brandy at the Twin Lions, I received an anonymous tip encouraging me to visit the south corner of Hyde Park. I waited there for upwards of half an hour. My curiosity piqued when out of the shadows appeared a man. The man was disguised and obviously trying to conceal his voice, but he told me that on the 22nd of May, Ambassador Berg was to be killed. When all of a sudden, a shriek rang out across the yard. It gave me such a start that by the time I turned back around, the man was gone. Vanished.
Whoever was he?
Again, I don't know. He was disguised and hiding his voice. Unfortunately, Mr. Berg's day of reckoning has passed, and I am forced to release him.
You surely don't believe that his reckoning is done just because the date has passed.
Of course not. But disguised strangers in the corners of parks carry little weight with internal affairs, so I have no choice.
You remove an unknown threat to secure the life of a government official, and yet you don't ask me. Shame on you, big brother.
I did not ask you then, nor am I asking you now. There is more going on here than you realize, Sherlock.
I certainly hope so. Godspeed, Mycroft.
Godspeed.
He's in hiding. Well, this has become an interesting case now, hasn't it? Someone has riled up the wrong crowd. An official, maybe? No. That would be news now, wouldn't it? Oh, how about a secret government agency? Or a League of Assassins? Or a Chinese order of monks?
Tea always helps me puzzle out my problems. More for me then.
Tea is great, Mrs. Hudson, thank you.
I'll leave you two alone then.
Those violin lessons must be paying off.
It doesn't make sense. Why would you parade around the ambassador just days after putting him in hiding? You may as well invite the assassin to tea.
It is Mycroft, so he will provide competent protection.
If the assassin times his attack well, even Mycroft won't be able to stop that.
When is a good time to attack an ambassador?
When he's vulnerable. Perhaps the question isn't when, but how.
All right. How is a good time to attack an ambassador?
What we're dealing with is an assassin, not a murderer, someone who has style, John. They've developed and specialized in their trade. If it were a silent assassin, I'd venture to say Mr. Berg would be dead by now. Poison is a quick and quiet method. But he hasn't done that.
Holmes?
Something's not right. This case is beginning to resemble the sinister nature of one I worked on years ago. One where I encountered the greatest mind I ever witnessed.
Aside from your own, of course.
No, John. No, cyanide can be bought at any medical establishment. That type of assassin isn't expected until the job is already done.
So, an act of violence then?
I'm afraid so. And it's not a gun either. It's
Crumpets! Crumpets always help me.
It's too
handle
boring,
that
plain, predictable.
one. I never.
Thank you, Mrs. Hudson. These will be more than enough.
More than enough. This is barely anything to go off.
Well, I'd like to see you two bake.
Bake? Oh, thank you, Mrs. Hudson.
Oh,
No, that'll be quite enough.
I believe Mrs. Hudson doesn't understand the gravity of the situation.
I'm afraid Mrs. Hudson doesn't understand gravity.
If not a gun, then what, Sherlock?
If he wanted it to seem like an accident, he doesn't anymore. Any accident would immediately be assumed a murder, so he doesn't care if it's obvious. And what type of assassin gets found out?
One who got too tipsy one night?
Not if he's any good. And Mycroft's involved, so he's good.
Well, then someone leaked it. Someone gave more information than intended.
No, assassins work alone. Until they don't. If his plans required collaborating, like to acquire materials, then perhaps the weapon isn't something he could get alone. It's not enough. There has to be something. Oh, that's it. His wife didn't know. John, the ambassador, his wife didn't know. What type of husband disappears for weeks and doesn't even attempt to fabricate a story? His life is at stake, and yet he mentions nothing to his beloved spouse.
Maybe because he wasn't allowed to.
Not that he wasn't allowed to, but that he didn't have time to. Every remaining moment he spent in public was a risk, but not only to himself, to those around him too. The weapon is something that could threaten tens, even hundreds. Something bold, something that could cause mass panic. It's
A bomb.
exactly. John, he's gonna use a bomb just as fast as a bullet, but the message is stronger. He'll disappear, gone if we wait any longer. The only way he doesn't get away is if we
Stop him. But there lies a problem. Sherlock, we don't know anything about him. He could be anyone, anywhere in London.
We have an advantage.
What's that?
He doesn't know we're coming.
Can't help him.
See? Now that's there. That's just how we get him. Give him security. He'll think he's free. His target's been released. There's nothing standing in his way except you and me. And when he plants his bomb,
It won't be the first move he did wrong.
time was his first mistake. The move he made should have never let us catch on. One move is all it takes,
But I guess that he didn't know that.
mind the first rule of the game. He thinks he's safe, but the truth couldn't be more wrong.
When he built his bomb, I guess that he didn't know that the game was on. A bomb. That's something serious. I hope we're not getting caught up, getting delirious. We need to beat him at his own game. Figure out where and when it's gonna take place.
Exactly. But Where?
What kind of man are we dealing with here?
I don't know. Where?
Oh my, look at you two keeping busy, solving crimes willy-nilly. Good Lord, what's wrong with this city?
Mrs.
Sherlock, you wouldn't believe in the paper.
Let me guess, you found more words there, John. There has to be somewhere that you could.
There's a woman with 22 children.
What characteristics worth mentioning?
Some people just want attention.
Attention. Some people just want attention. Mrs. Hudson, you've done it. An artist needs an audience. John, he's gonna use a bomb just as fast as a bullet, but his message is stronger. That's a second mistake, something he just gave away. Not the time, but that it's gonna take place in public. I know how to find him. My eyes and ears are surrounding London. Pride was his first mistake. The move he made should have never let us catch on. One move is all it takes, but I guess that he didn't know that. The first rule of the game, he thinks he's safe, but the truth couldn't be more wrong. When he built his bomb, I guess that he didn't know that. The game is on. We're going to the underground. Do you have any valuables on you, Watson?
Oh, just my wallet?
Excellent, give it to me.
Sherlock, what are we doing here?
Watch your pockets, Watson. Even if they're empty, they can still manage to steal something.
They?
Your most holy, gracious, and perpetually perfect Miss.
Love what you've done with the place, Tom.
Ladies and gentlemen, look alive. We have a celebrity in our midst. And who's your friend?
John Watson.
Just plain. We all know who you are.
You do?
Just because we live down here doesn't mean we don't know how to read your pieces, Mr. Watson. Thomas Xavier Popwell Tricklebank. At your service.
Impressive.
Kidding, Doctor. It's just Tom. None of us can afford 4 names down here. Oh, well, Jane, come on. Be a good host. Take Mr. Watson's jacket.
Oh, no, it's, please. Sherlock, that was my favorite coat.
Oh, don't worry, you'll get it back. They're not actually thieves.
Oh, they're going through my pockets. Not much without that. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Holmes, I imagine you didn't come down here just for a social visit?
No, I didn't.
Ah, a gift! Look! How thoughtful! Oh my. Planning on removing 221's walls? Oh my gosh. And ceiling?
It's for a friend. Know anyone who's in the market for these materials?
Oh, I didn't know you had any friends! It's just so hard to recall these things, you know? Very hard to recall it. Turns out, I don't know. But these two might. Jane, Greta, have a look.
What did you do to this thing? Oh, my, this would make a big explosion.
Indeed it would. Would either of you know who may have purchased these materials?
I would know, but it's just on the tip of my tongue. It's also written in half, so it's hard to read.
Sherlock, that's still my walk.
There's more.
No. Sherlock.
To share. Thank you. No one has. Materials of this magnitude could not pass under my nose undetected.
If not these, then what?
Building a bomb with using all that would take a bloody good chemist. Fortunately, we've got one. Say, Greta, how long would it take you to make a new recipe?
It's hard to say. A few days, maybe?
Sherlock.
Or minutes.
Hold on. How do you know this information? I'm a doctor, and I hardly know this much chemistry.
Well, you don't know us that well now, do you?
I just met you.
Come on, Doctor. Can't you deduce anything? You seen Mr. Holmes in action?
Well, yes, more than most. I once seen him mark someone's vacation with the mud on his boots.
Rather simple, actually.
Well, Doctor?
Nothing.
Take Jane. She may not look like much, but was quite the architect once upon a time. And Greta, of course, is our resident chemist.
And you?
Me? As a child, I begged for food and received a book. After that, I read everything I could ever find. I've always dreamed of going to the university. What it must be like to walk on those steps is part of it. You see, Mr. Watson? People up there take one look at us down here and think they know everything worth knowing about us, when really they don't. Doctor, look around you. Most people don't come down to. They stay up there and it's a shame. See, we walk underneath them, but so far from beneath them, the value doesn't match the face. No.
On the surface, people pass right by like they're alone. Don't they care to see what's in my heart? Walking past like they got somewhere better they could go. Missing out on everything we are. But we've got dreams and they're gonna find us. Underground in our soul, that's what defines us. You can discover a world hiding underneath. But they only see what's on the surface. Na 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 na. People don't lie like you do. One love they make their own truth, but they don't even know my name and don't care to.
I've read 1,000 books, but never got a second look that told me that I deserve a place. What would you do?
On the surface, there's value in another.
How come we're still judging books by their covers?
If this is harmony, then what are we supposed to do? Yeah. We've got dreams and they're gonna find us. Underground in our soul, that's what defines us. You can discover a world hiding underneath. But they only see what's on the surface. No, 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 no. I grew up in Parkland, I never had a home. On the surface I feel see-through like I'm a ghost.
Don't know how, but somehow we all end up down here. Yeah. Yeah, we got dreams. about yet?
I knew it the second he asked. Sulfuric acid, nitric acid, and glycerol.
Nitroglycerin, of course.
If your friend knew how to nitrate the glycerol,
He could build a bomb powerful enough to destroy the whole embassy.
it's both experimental and volatile. It would require a very trained hand.
The watchmaker.
Who's the watchmaker?
An assassin with style, John. Swiss. Designs his own bombs.
And you know this character how?
Never met him. Only heard of him while working on a case in Paris. Someone was shot in a crowd, but no one knows where the shots came from. Smokeless powder made with nitroglycerin.
He must have learned it and added to his repertoire.
And we don't have a moment to lose.
Good luck, Mr. Holmes. Godspeed, Mr. Watson.
Tom, I owe you one.
But we've got dreams, and they're gonna find us.
Any sign of him?
There's not much sign with this fog.
You'll certainly see the place.
It has to be. The ambassador is in that building, while the embassy where he resides is that way. He'll cross this square.
The negotiation treaty was in the newspaper, so our assassin would know of it.
But more than anything, if I were going to put on a show, this is where I would do it.
Not much of a show, this is no audience.
Count to 5, the stride.
Oh no.
Precisely.
No.
Sherlock, the ambassador will be crossing any minute now.
And the watchmaker's already arrived. Stay out of sight.
Which one is he?
Come on, Watson, what do you see?
They're just street vendors.
Look at them closely. Who looks out of place? Who looks nervous?
Oh, that lady there with the big case. She looks nervous.
No, he's most likely a man. Medium build, light hair, glasses, either wearing them or in his pocket.
How do we know he didn't come and plant the bomb earlier?
There was nowhere to hide it.
Sherlock, the ambassador will be exiting any minute now.
We're running out of time, Sherlock.
He has to be here. Come on, who's checking their pocket watch?
I can't tell, we're too far away.
We have to alert the public. We need to clear these streets.
No! If we clear the streets now, he'll get away.
People are going to die if we don't clear them.
The ambassador dies if we do. If we clear the streets now, the watchmaker will get away, and all that gives him is a future opportunity, one we can't predict.
Then we go in.
Yes. Conceal your faces. Look for anything that could give him away. Anything big enough to hold a bomb. Once we find him, then we clear the streets.
Yes.
Let's go. Medium build, Swiss, light hair, steady hands, glasses either wearing them or in his pocket.
Sherlock.
Not now, Watson.
Sherlock.
Quiet, Watson.
No, Sherlock, listen to me.
No!
Sherlock, it's her. Hey! Hey, you! Clear the streets, everyone!
John! John, you all right? Oh. Look, if you just give it just another moment.
I got her. Definitely a woman. As she kicks like a man. Oh. Anyway, she's locked up in the carriage. What are you lot been doing?
Admiring the courage from afar.
Is that the bomb? Did it go off?
What? No, detective, it didn't.
does it say?
But I think you should read it.
Why?
Because it's addressed to you.
We'll now be a brief intermission. Consider snapping a photo and sharing it with the hashtag #MeetMeAtTheEmpress on Facebook or Instagram.